They defended it with ease. And now our focus moves on to the big 3 games that everyone was excited about here at Finals Day. The winners, the undefeated winners of Pool A, Rotterdam, up against Catalunya Cricket Club, who got themselves into the semi-finals. They actually lost 2 of their 3 games, Catalunya CC, out on the field, but Jandra Brescia's points deduction put the Spaniards up into 2nd in their pool and got them here. V.O.C. Rotterdam starting this game, the firm favourites. I'm Michael McCann, and alongside me is the one-time Australian wicketkeeper batsman, now Netherlands head coach Ryan Campbell, as we preview this one. Good afternoon, Ryan. The sun thankfully starting to shine a bit more now, and the wind, which has been absolutely howling, just quietening down a touch.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone, or good evening, wherever you are listening to us around the world. Yeah, conditions are going to be good. It's going to be a good game. V.O.C. have been the dominant force so far, and it'll be interesting to see if they're going to be put to the test.
Can Catalunya stop them? Well, for now, let's find out what happened at the coin toss.
All right, it's time for the toss for the first semi-final of the day. It's Rotterdam versus Catalunya. I've got the 2 captains to my left and the match referee. Are you guys ready? Yeah. Okay, you're going to toss and you will take the call. He called heads. Heads it is. Okay, Mohammed, are you happy? Won the toss? What is your decision?
We will bat first.
Okay, what is the reason behind that?
Because always we make a runs because it's a little bit easy to make a runs. The chasing is a little bit difficult, so that maybe the wicket is changed so that if we make a good score, then we can defend.
What do you think is a par total?
120-30. Yeah. Again.
To be on the safer side.
This is a good side. Yeah.
Good side,
yeah,
that's true.
Yeah.
And who are the batsmen we can look forward to?
Same squad, like me and Yasser and Yasef, I hope so. And also yesterday he played well, Rauf Zaman. Yeah. So hopefully we get scored.
But of course the conditions are different today.
Different, yeah.
Do you think that's going to have any impact?
I don't think so, because we used to play here in these conditions, so that we know how to play. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So well, all positive, yeah?
Yeah, all positive. Yeah.
Thank you very much and wish you all the best.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay, now if I can just have Peter with me. Peter, so you get to bowl first? Yep. You happy with that?
Oh, it doesn't really matter for us. It's all about the ticking boxes. Whether you bat first or bowl first, it doesn't matter.
Okay, but if you would have won the toss, what would you have elected to do?
Well, as I said earlier, I'm not a big tosser of the coin, so I lose quite a lot. I wasn't quite sure. I had a look at these games just being played now, and the wicket looks a little bit more sticky than it was yesterday. But we probably would have bowled first because we were very comfortable chasing. But as showed yesterday, we can also bat first.
Yeah. Is there any danger man in the opposition you're looking out for, especially to target?
Well, I'm not quite sure of the names, but the 2 guys that bet with the Kips, I think they're betting 3 and 4. They look to be quite handy players. So those are the ones we're looking to get out. But we have to get all of them out and trying to restrict them to a total, I think, under 100.
Okay, well now we know your game plan. Thank you very much. Wish you all the very best. So well, that's the news from the pitch. Catalunya has won the toss and elected to bat first.
So, Catalunya Cricket Club have won the toss. They're seen as a side that are maybe a little bit better with the bat than the ball, and they've chosen to bat. Peter Selaar, the V.O.C. Rotterdam captain, and of course the Dutch national captain, claim that it's ticking a box, but I know from sources in the camp that if they'd have won, they'd have definitely have bowled, wouldn't they? So they might not be too dissatisfied with this.
No, I'm pretty sure they're happy chasing. Their their all-round game has been based around bowling first. So, look, again, he said it himself. He doesn't win the toss too often. That's why I was so surprised on day one when they won both tosses. He's not the luckiest on the toss of the coin source. So, look, at the end of the day, you've got to do both things. Yes, it's a semi-final. Again, the Australian in me says that in a final, it's always good to bat first, get the runs on the board, and then put the pressure up front with some good bowling and good fielding. But Catalunya, they'll be hoping that they can get away to a good start, put some pressure on the opposition bowling. And like they said, look, what's a good score? 100, 120, 130? Who knows?
Arguably the go-to man to watch for Catalunya, Mohamed Magal, who came onto the scene with 76 of 27 in the first game as they demolish St. Petersburg. And then we've also seen Mohamed Khan, the captain, chip in with 31 in that first game, 63 in the second. Yasser Ali can hit a long ball too. So those will be the key men. As for V.O.C. Rotterdam, a side we know relatively well, there's Nelta Schoenheim and Dirk van Baren with their medium pace. Piers Fletcher will open the bowling. Up top, Peter Saylor with the spin. Ashikullah Saeed as well offers an option. So plenty of tactics and strategies. I think they'll just go with what we've seen so far. Piers Fletcher bowls the first and third over in the power play.
Well, just looking at the lineup there, it's quite interesting that they've left. They brought back in, they rested a couple of their players yesterday, but I noticed that Bobby Hanif comes back in, the all-rounder. Sebastian van Lent, who's a young wicketkeeper who's also very good in the field, he comes back in. I think Ashikullah Saad has been a fantastic bowler for them so far. He's taken wickets, he's their go-to man. A fantastic story. I was speaking to him again last night at length about his story about as an Afghanistani refugee making his way to Europe and based in Belgium. I've got to get a hold of the video for you guys, and we'll get it up on our website later, I'm sure, of him just bowling. He's got no facilities, and he just bowls to himself in a field basically in Belgium and gets the job done. Then jumps in his car, works 10 hours a day in a factory, jumps in his car, drives about 6 hours there and back to go to club training at V.O.C. in the Netherlands. His passion for the game, his love of the game, and I know you love a good love story, and I'll add this to you. Just found out after years and years of trying, his wife has finally been giving her visa, so she'll be on her way to live with him in Belgium. What a story, and you can start singing some love songs for me, mate.
I won't sing you, but I'll give a lyric that Taylor Swift fans might be familiar with. It's a love story, baby, just say yes. And it seems like, in this case, it's not so much the marriage proposal, but the visa to get all sorted. That is genuinely wonderful, and if that doesn't warm the cockles of your heart, then maybe you really are a cold-hearted so-and-so. Well, if even Ryan Campbell next to me is thinking that it's a good love story.
You know what, I'm going to say it now. That is the beauty of this club-based competition. It's not just the clubs, it's the individuals, it's the stories under the stories that has been so good. You know, we've talked about Pavel Florin at length about his story, but there's so many out there that we'd love to listen to and hear the full stories of how these players have actually got to playing cricket for their club.
Absolutely, and I think that's one thing that's maybe been forgotten by some. This isn't a franchise T20 competition where the players are on big money and are established stars. This isn't a competition with a draft system whereby resources are necessarily evenly spread. It's perfectly understandable that a club like V.O.C. Rotterdam, who've got history back to 1895 and have 3 Dutch internationals, are going to be, say, stronger than other teams, and that's what happens with the Champions League of European cricket.
Yeah.
If you win your championship in your country, you get the right to be here on the world stage, and nobody can deny you that.
And mate, they're all club players. They all pay their fees. They're members of the club. They pay their cash, they come to training, they use the facilities, they put back into the game, and that's what cricket is all about. That's the building blocks of every international side, every state team, every provincial team. It all comes back to the clubs. It's the foundation, and generally at those clubs you need the volunteers and the hard workers who we'll see sitting on the sidelines here today, who have followed V.O.C. and Catalunya, and to have a look at them play, they're the lifeblood of our sport, which is cricket.
Piers Fletcher opening the bowling from our end of the ground, the Las Acacias end, as this first semi-final gets underway. The opening couple of games have been entertaining. They've both gone to the final over, but this has a different feel to it. There is a place in the final on the line. The opening batsmen are out in the middle. It will be Yasser Ali with 9 on his back to face first. The captain, Mohamed Khan, watching on from the 9 non-strikers. A 5-4 field, square leg and long off out. Just about to get the first ball, moments away. V.O.C. Rotterdam understandably the favourites, but Catalunya strong with the bat. Very impressive top 4. And if they go big, then V.O.C. Rotterdam have got a pressure chase to get into the final.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, there's going to be pressure on from the start. Piers Fletcher with the ball. He's going to kick us all off, and here we go.
And that one just dipped in the pitch. Get back for 1. all sorts going on in that area in the middle of the pitch. We were discussing it earlier on during the 5th place playoff with Corey Rutgers. Some bouncing up trampoline style, some running along almost like a daisy cutter like that one.
Well, if we can have a closer look at the wicket, you'll see that there is a few bare patches on it. The wicket, if you have a look here, that hits one of those bare patches and the bounce isn't quite as true. The grass on a turf wicket generally provides the bounce and keeps the clay together.
Fletcher to Khan. It's a wide down the leg side, and is Fletcher, for all of how excellent he's been in this tournament, there was a key second over he bowled against Svanholm yesterday that conceded just 4 runs, which arguably turned the game in V.O.C's favour. He has been occasionally guilty of the odd wide.
Well, that first game, wasn't it? He bowled, what, 17 deliveries or altogether, yeah, with the 5 extras.
He was joking with me that he wanted value for his match fee. Khan, inside out, over cover. Excellent shot from the one-time Spanish international. Showing what he can do. He does run his own business, and now he's hoping to run things with control and precision out in the middle. He's been a key run scorer for Catalunya, and he's in the boundaries early on.
Well, it's length. It's actually not a bad delivery. He's just got into a good position, didn't try and overhit it. It's a good cricket shot.
Can't go back to back. Looked away to the sweeper. Hamid Armgun Khan. Batsman who was once a Spanish international, now 38, so has left it to others to continue their work in the national team, but he's played in several ICC qualifying competitions. Born in Lahore. His proudest moment was once getting 115 in a chase of 200 for Catalunya. T20 semi-final, got them into the final, which got them here. Ali whips this one away into the gap, and now both openers have a boundary in the first over. Yasir Ali has been a key man for Catalunya in this tournament, and now he's stepping up against the tournament favourites.
Again, it's a good shot, just drifted onto his pads, didn't try to hit it too square, still used the full face of the blade.
Good slur ball from Fletcher, and Ali has to set the single. Good soft hands from the batsman though, and making sure that it wasn't a dot. And if you're Catalunya winning the toss, choosing to bat first, probably a slightly stronger team with the bat, the ball looking down the lineup. Key that they get a good start, and these two are so far providing exactly that. Single to finish, 13 off the first. The Catalans will be pretty happy with that. Two clubs with very contrasting histories. V.O.C. with 1895 on their bench. Catalunya only formed in 2007. Those maybe less familiar with them, but they've made quite an impression on Spanish cricket. It took them a while to get going, get the resources up to scratch, as we see the supporters enjoying the action. And to them in the marquees away to our right-hand side from the Las Acacias end, the left-hand side when the bowling comes from where we are now, the Las Lomas end of the ground, meaning the hills. Bobby Hanif to bowl his wobbly mediums. Hanif known as the silent assassin. 4 wickets against HBS in the final to get them here. Once upon a time captain for V.O.C. Saved the club from relegation when it was in dark days once upon a time. But now in mid-table this year with the loss of a certain Freddie Clarkson slightly costing them.
Massively.
Good start from Hanif to Khan. It's just nibbling about off this pitch, and these conditions are perfect for Bobby Hanif. A wobbly medium pace bowler, born and bred in Rotterdam. Actually works for Nippon Express on logistics, and he's back of house, a key helper with the club in terms of anything to do with that. Enough from Hanif again, chance to shy, and it will be overthrows. It's the first set of overthrows from this tournament that have gone to the fence. Not what Bobby Hanif wanted. And it flies away perfectly, obviously unintentionally thrown into the gap by Max O'Dowd. And so for those maybe new to cricket, that means they'll get 1 for the run and then 4 for the overthrow, so 5 in total. Let's have a look at it again. O'Dowd shies. Direct hit, and in fairness, it probably was out.
Yeah, had to go for it, had to get the big wicket.
And to his misfortune, backing up wasn't quite there. This has gone straight up though, and straight into the stands. Straight over the LED advertising boards, and Catalunya Cricket Club are racing along early on against the favourites. V.O.C. Rotterdam, if they didn't know they were in a game, they certainly do now. Yasir Ali gets a piece of it. Can he follow it up? Goes straight once more. Bang, bang. 6-6 for Yasir Ali. The man who once played his club cricket in Holland for Dosti at the highest level is now hurting the Dutch.
That's a good shot. What a fine line this game is. Could have been a run out the ball before, but it goes for 5. And now 2 6s back to back. A change from the wicket keeper here. He's going to go up to the stumps to try and keep the batsman in his crease. Pressure is on.
17 of 3 balls. Real pressure on Bobby Haniff after starting with a dot, which feels about 1,000,000 years ago. That's another lovely shot, and it's a misfield from Max O'Dowd. It's an over that he will want to forget. He'll want to get any takes of this and get them removed as soon as possible. O'Dowd with the shy that missed, that went for the overthrows, and now with the misfield that goes for 4. But it's a lovely, good cricket shot, a straight drive from Yasir Ali. Coming across, O'Dowd just can't stop it. Max O'Dowd probably hoping the ball doesn't come to him again in this over. Oh! That's flicked away. That could go away for 4 more. Well fielded. Ramasupadya contributing and stopping the bleeding somewhat at the end of a remarkable over of cricket. One that Bobby Haniff or Max O'Dowd won't want to remember. Just the 21 runs coming from it.
Yeah, well, it's game on really. 2 overs for 35 with 1 over of the power play to go, and it's not surprising that the skipper, Peter Saylor, is going to come on. See if he can just put a little bit of a slowing down to this rate.
Quick social media announcement. Pavel Florin is on Twitter.
All over it,
We've
mate.
got it sorted. At Pavel Florin 13. Do get involved. Please don't hesitate. The start of the tournament. Sailor into the attack. An inside-out over cover, he gets the treatment. 1 bounce for Yasir Ali is seeing it like a beach ball. He is loving life. 2 6s in the previous over, and he starts this one with power and a bit of timing.
Well, it's a semi-final. Anything can happen. Whatever you've done up till now goes out the door.
They're looking for a reply, but that's a poor short ball, and Ali is having a piece of that too. The Catalunya Tigers winning the toss, choosing to bat, and Ali and Kana leading from the front.
Oh, almost a fantastic catch. Rutgers, full length to his left. Almost plucked in a beauty.
Pardon me. That is the kind of moment that can turn a game if you take it. Can change the momentum.
Lovely boy, lovely boy.
Tend to settle for the single this time.
That's awesome.
And Ali survives. 31 of 10. Full toss. You can't bowl a full toss when a guy's scoring at 3 a ball. He's not going to miss out. And this is sensational stuff. Absolutely brilliant work from Yasir Ali. 51 without loss. From memory, I'm trying to think of if there have been any other half-century partnerships in this tournament. Certainly not many. We've got one here. Cuts this one away, single. And the run rate is, you can see it there, exactly 3 runs a ball.
Would I be right in saying that's probably the best power play we've seen?
I don't have the figures off the top of my head, but it must be 52 without loss from 3 overs. Here's the drop catch, but the quality of drop catch is so hard. She would have been an incredible grab. Diving away to his left, Corey Rutgers. And he's right-handed as well, so he's going to his slightly weaker side.
Weaker side, yeah. Good piece of work. And just wondering.
And of course, there is another interpretation to that difficult chance from Rutgers, which is he stopped the ball, at least.
Stopped the boundary.
You know?
Well, that's what he'll be telling you later.
Schönheim to bowl from the Las Lomas end of the ground. Right arm, medium pace. I'll hope he can make the difference bowling to Yasir Ali, who had an average of more than 100 in the Spanish league last year. Doesn't get hold of that one, though. We're pleased to get him off strike, Yasir Ali.
Well, here we go. Because of all the plans and everything that was going so well, now can V.O.C. remain calm? And this is what happens when you put under extreme pressure from a opening batsman. Or it's now your ability to stay calm and think your way through the process. Say, okay, what do we need to do here? Keep a lid on it, lads. If a half chance comes, let's grab a hold of it. What are you going to bowl? What's our field setting? The game hasn't changed, even though they're going at pace. Let's slow down, take a breath.
Schönheim to Ali, who goes over the sweeper. All that Bobby Haniff can do is go and get it off the ball boy. Yasir Ali is loving it. Well, yesterday we saw a ton from 28 balls by Ahmed from the French champions Dreux. Yasir Ali's strike rate is similar. Yeah! Oh, he's gone! Massive wicket, massive moment in this semi-final. Hjalte Schönheim steps up, Yasir Ali misses, Schönheim hits, and V.O.C. Rotterdam have the breakthrough that they craved. The V.O.C. supporters watching on delighted. Yasir Ali has to walk off.
Well, they can take their breath now because that is a big moment of the day. Yasir Ali, who was absolutely on fire, tries to go to the well once too often. It's full, slamming into the left pad and onto the stumps. It's a big wicket for V.O.C.
Look at what it means to the fans. Goodness me, did they need that? This is a guy who got a double ton in the Catalunya League last year in a 50-over match. Scored 640 runs for them in the T20 comp at a strike rate of almost 2 a ball. And he's back in the pavilion. And now it's up to the new batsman to continue that momentum. Karam Shahzad. Shahzad might have lost his wicket first ball. Upadhyay is under it, leaves it for Edwards. Edwards takes it. Good wicket keeping from Scott Edwards. He had to run a long way in a swirling wind and breeze. And it's 2 from 2 for the V.O.C. boys. It can all turn around so quickly. And Hjalte Schönheim, who is more of an occasional medium pacer, is on a hattie.
Yeah, it's a fantastic piece of work there from the wiki. It was a skyer, and again, we keep referring to this strong breeze that made it swirl. If any time that the high ball goes and the wicketkeeper can get there, he needs to get everyone out of his way. And he did a very, very good job there.
Interesting point on Twitter from Seema Sinipullen, who said that shy from Max O'Dowd goes directly against their 6 rules of T10, though, ticking off to come. I'll come back to that and explain it in a second for those who missed it. Schönheim on a hat-trick. And instead it's a boundary. Maybe getting a bit overexcited, presents a gift to the captain, Mohammed Khan. Going back to that, in the 6 rules Corey Rutgers was telling them about for T10 stuff, he was saying you don't shy when you're in the infield because of the risk of extra runs, because it's not worth it. And that was something that had been discussed in a team meeting, but we saw in that early on, Max O'Dowd shy, conceded 4 overthrows.
Maybe there's 2 different rules, because Max O'Dowd, who's under my sort of umbrella in the national team, I definitely want him to throw at the stumps, because I feel a wicket is more important than 4 runs. And if you had seen that, if he hits the stumps, he runs out their best player. Simple as that.
Confirmation of what we've seen Yalta Schunheim striking twice. Mohammed Khan opening the batting with Yasir Ali, who made 45 or 15 before perishing. And a golden quacker to follow as well. Catch nicely taken by Upadhyaya. Bowling to come from our end of the ground now. That's a Cassius N. 19 on his back for Ashiqullah Saeed. And I think he's actually stopped there because it's just so windy. You can't really blame him. Out to bat is a man who, if you've been watching the ECL, doesn't need much of an introduction. Mohammed Mughal smashed 76 off just 27 against St. Petersburg, including 7 sixes. Got 23 off just 10 in the second pool match as well. Has more than 100 runs already in the tournament.
They've got some firepower, have the Spaniards.
Attempt to take the single first ball and have a look. And these are the little nuances Corey Rutgers was referring to about where the game's going. Do you retire a batsman, having a flexible batting order, having 2 fielders at the bowler's end ready in a tight super over, not shying at the stumps? Interesting debates about the merits of such modernising tactics. White from Saeed, because there is one school of thought, as you allude to, that good teams shy at the stumps because they trust everyone else to back up.
Well, that's the thing. It's not the thrower's fault. It's the actual person backing up needs to be in a position where he's involved in the game. He can't just be daydreaming.
But in defence of the fielding with the O'Dowd one, there was 3 fielders converging on it, but such were the angles of where it happened. I'm not sure there was a huge amount V.O.C could have done.
Free hit here still.
And it is taken, but the bizarre moment where he gets a second life. Well, for those not understanding what a free hit is, that should give you a pretty simple explainer. It is quite literally a free hit. If you get your poles knocked over, you can put middle stump back in the ground and keep going, which reminds me of one of my favourite historical cricketing stories. W.G. Grace out having a bat at an event where he'd basically been brought as the guest star to have a bat, thousands assembled. He gets out for a golden quacker. I believe it was a golden quacker. I'll finish the story in a second. What's Khan got for us? Khan flicks it away, it's a full toss and he's slightly missed out, fielded by O'Dowd. And he gets bowled. Some people listening across the world might know this story, might already be laughing about what's about to come next. So he gets bowled, goes over, casually picks up the bounce, puts it back on top, turns to him and say something along the lines of in very polite English. This was early 20th century. Excuse me, sir, you're out. W.G. Grace said, come see me bat, not you bowl. Bowl went back to his mark and W.G. Grace piled the runs on and everyone had a good time watching him.
This wind is playing havoc with Saad's run-up.
You can't blame him. It's whipped up again. We said at the start of this game that the sun had come out and the wind had died down. And I think that was a massive mistake because we commentators cursed it because the wind has sort of come back with a vengeance.
Well, the problem is he's bowled another no ball and this is the free hit and the time factor is going to come into it. He doesn't have enough time to bowl this over.
Ashiqullah Saeed does get the delivery bowled, but it's whacked into the gap. Fielded out there. Number 10, Yalta Schunheim, was having a very good day of it.
Of course, the team only has 45 minutes to bowl their 10 overs. They have to start the final over within that time frame.
Don't want a 5-run penalty, they don't need that. So then you've already got 70 on the board. Dug out. Should be pointed out going back to that W.G. Grace story that, of course, Mohammed Mughal was doing it in a slightly more legitimate way. But it must be an odd situation. As an opening batsman turn around, see the middle stump at the ground, pick it up and think, let's have another go.
It's a nice feeling, that.
I imagine it must be slightly perplexing, though. You've heard the death rattle and somehow managed to survive it. Saeed into Khan. Just struggling with his line and lengths here, Ashiqullah Saeed. We've only had 3 balls of this over and it feels like it's gone on for an eternity. It's been given as a no ball as well.
Overstepped the front line again. He's just all over the shot.
Well, it would have been a wide, even if it wasn't a no ball on line. Ideal for V.O.C. Rotterdam, and we'll have to actually keep an eye on the time, which I'm sure our diligent scorers next to us have got. Full toss, and he might have got a wicket with it. He has got a wicket with it, but it's a free hit again. What a bizarre over. What an absolutely bizarre over. So we've had 2 wickets, both of which do not count. For those new to the game, we'll do our best to keep you up to date with how this all works, because it is pretty confusing. Manga gets another life, a second life. Now it's a single. So, for those completely new to the game, there is a line from which the bowler must bowl, to keep it really simple for you. It's up to the umpire's job to check it. If you overstep that line, it's a no ball. And what that means from the next delivery is that you can't be out unless you're run out. That's the only way you can be out. So we see what could be the final ball of this never-ending over. Wider of the crease, full toss, and this will be out, caught by Max O'Dowd. And finally, after seeming like a cat with an endless number of lives in this over, the Catalunya Tigers have actually lost a wicket that isn't from a free hit. Goodness gracious me, we've had 2 lives from Mohamed Magal. He was bowled and then he was caught on the fence, but now he has to walk off. It is his captain Mohamed Khan who pays the price. Magal survives because he at least made sure it was after a free hit. Khan goes for 19 or 14. V.O.C. Rotterdam, after the longest over I think I've ever seen, pick up an actual wicket.
Well, that was, well, the comedy of errors, really. He got 3 wickets in the over, and there was 2 off no balls. In between, he bowled some very good Yorkers, but just overstepping the mark so often. I'm not sure the captain, Peter Sale, will be too happy, but he gets a big wicket. Now, the 2 main batting, I guess, weapons are out. Now, Catalunya, what have they got left up their sleeve? They've still got, they do back their batting, but now they're a little bit, the pressure may be just a little bit more back on them, although they are at, what, 3 for 73 after the 5 overs at the halfway stage, just still flying along.
Here's Fletcher bowling his second over, having changed ends. Now on from the last Loma send. Sun out once more. Appeals for snaring him down the leg side. Wide given by the umpire. And I mentioned this yesterday. The village cricketer in me says, I'm not doubting Piers Fletcher thinks that might be out, but one thing that's made his mind up is trying to get away from the wide. Fletcher once more. Down leg, flicked away. Umpire opts not to shy. The old, if I appeal, it might not be given, which didn't work. Fletcher with his second wide of the day, 1 in his first over. The odd thing is, Ashikula Saeed, you look at the figures, 1 for 9 from 1 over, you think...
It's not a bad over.
Not a bad over, but I made it 3 full tosses. Really did get away with that. And Mohamed Magal is still out in the middle. He's had 2 lives. What can he do with number 3? Yep. Given as a wide. Fletcher has to get back to his run. That's number 3, but it really is a batter's game, this. Very unforgiving. I think it's been wided on height, actually. But it's kicking up off that middle of the pitch. The middle of the pitch has sort of turned into a trampoline. Fletcher gets a bit of extra bounce. So one senses that of that top 4 we were so excited about, obviously 3 are back in the hutch, a lot is resting on the shoulders of Mohamed Magal now.
Well, I think it might just, they need maybe an over and a half just to sort of get themselves in.
Zaman on strike. Single. 3 out on the leg side, 2 on the off, the common default we've seen.
As you can see from Fletcher, with this strong breeze coming across the ground, it is actually pushing his deliveries into the pads, and he's really skirting that leg side wide line. He's got away with a few there, getting into the pad.
Magal needs to get going here for Catalunya. Uncertain once more. For a guy who's been blasting it around so far in this tournament, he's still not at his Sunday best. Don't forget he's been out twice and Ashikul Saeed in the same over, both off 3 hits. I can't think I've ever seen that before.
His day.
Can he get himself into form? It's a mega cricket shot. Corey Rutgers, sticking by what he was telling us about earlier in the commentary box, has no interest in shying from cover. Looking at some of the T10 tactics that are evolving in the game. Zaman goes straight. Ralph Zaman, the wicket-keeper batsman, 35-year-old, averaged 23.5 for the Catalunya Tigers in the T10, T20 competition, I should say, that got them here. Strike rate of 115. He's seen as more of a steady middle-order anchor for when that explosive top order don't come off, and that's kind of what they need him to do. He's born in Gujarat, Pakistan. He's lived in Spain since 2006. Joined the Catalunya Tigers in 2007 when they were formed. He's been with them ever since. I'm sure it's been a huge amount for him to combine with Manga here and make these last 4 overs explosive. Good platform though, 80 for 3, built by Ali predominantly and then Khan as well.
Yeah, 4 overs, looking, what, 130? 140 even would be a chance. 4-0, no, 130.
Well, they'll get 133 if they go at the rate they're going, which is exactly what V.O.C. Rotterdam posted against Svanholm in that incredible match 20 day 2. But given the way this pitch is playing, it would seem above par. Max O'Dowd to start with his quick leggies. O'Dowd, who's got a happy knack of picking up key wickets. He got Taranjeet Singh out in the pool match. He was the opposition's gun batsman. And then he repeated the trick against Svanholm. Yo! And O'Dowd nearly did it there. Not quite enough turn on it. And against Svanholm, he got out Mads Henriksen, which was the game-changing moment. Henriksen gone for 53 off just 21.
And again, that's good bowling. Nice piece of keeping. He's looking to that leg side boundary.
Do get in touch with us wherever you are on social media. If you're enjoying coverage, tell us where you're watching from. O'Dowd in. This has gone straight up, but I'm not sure there's anyone underneath it. O'Dowd takes responsibility. O'Dowd takes the catch. He's done it again, Max O'Dowd. He's making a really good habit of this. Taranjeet Singh, Mads Henriksen, and now Mohamed Magal, 3 key batsmen for opponents in this competition, who he has come on and removed with his leg spin. He's been working so hard on it in the last few years, and it's paying dividends.
Yeah, what once was an off-spin bowler, and in fact, if there's a left-hand batter, he may actually bowl an off-spinner, but as you see there, he was only thinking one way, looking to the leg side, top edge, good safe pair of hands. Quite surprised actually earlier in the innings, he misfielded one. Generally one of the best fielders in the Netherlands.
Batsman across, so the new bat Latif will only face his first ball now. And that is a big moment in this game. Mohamed Magal lit up the tournament in Catalunya's first match with 76. He's had a couple of cameos since. He's the one real master blaster left of that top 4 who are now all gone. It's about what the rest can do with this opportunity. Latif misses once more, so keep Latif, a 36-year-old all-rounder. We might see him with his spin later.
Now, I'm hoping our cameramen are going to listen to us here, but keep an eye on Corey Rutgers. He's in the circle at pointed delivery, and then he runs out. That's not going to help, because that's a big 6.
Massive shot from Latif. Well, that's what they need from the middle order to carry them through to a big total. Saqib Latif setting his stall out, and from that, it looks like a stall almost as good as his glasses are thick.
Yeah, that's a good cricket shot. He hit it very hard, was always in the arc of his swing. Got good contact, but just getting back to that, it's an interesting one. We talk about the rules and the tactics and all that sort of stuff, but starting inside the circle and then at pointed delivery, running straight back, it's an interesting one. I'm assuming it's legal.
I don't see why not. It's at the point of delivery. Keeping an eye on Rutgers now as continues.
Nice point.
And you're dead right. Rutgers has gone. Actually, this is a perfect example because Corey Rutgers has fielded that. He's had to come in 5 yards from outside the discs because he'd gone backwards. Latif facing.
Oh, nice. Nice again.
Down the ground. And again, Corey Rutgers is 5 yards outside the circle. We had him up in the box earlier. He was talking about how the game's innovating and moving forward. That's one little thing he didn't mention that my co-commentator Ryan Campbell's picked up on. That is gone. Absolutely out of here from Ralph Saman. He's following the lead of his partner. Both he and Latif have now hit big sixes, and the Catalunya Tigers well set up for a late charge.
Yeah, that's that arc, that swing plane that they generally like to do onto the leg side. Again, hitting with the breeze to the shorter side of the ground of a very short ground.
Good response from Masu Badiaya. ECN.cricket, the place to watch this worldwide. Zaman gets hold of this once more. Nothing the fielder can do out there. It was Bobby Hanif with the enthusiastic dive, but it was one that he had no chance with.
Again, good shot. Just missing his Yorker. Oh, that's better.
A nice response again. It's been almost a bipolar over this, swinging one way or the other. The ball flying away for six or being speared in, the batsman struggling a bit.
Yeah, nice and full. You're trying to get your Yorker length, which is basically looking at the popping crease, trying to hit the batsman on the toe. But if you just miss, it becomes a half volley and the batsman can just swing through the line. Second over for Max O'Dowd.
And why wouldn't you keep him on after the first? On to Ralph Saman. With good cricketing heritage. He played with plenty of Pakistani national players at the academy in Gujarat when he was younger, before moving to Catalunya as a 23-year-old. Dowd gets the treatment inside out, and even Rutgers running outside the disc circle can't stop it. Good stuff from Ralph Saman. He's keeping the momentum through this innings for Catalunya, who are pressing well beyond three figures now. Also Dowd's reply. Inside out, straight down the sweeper's throat though, and dropped by Hanif. It was straight into the bread basket and straight out again. Hit very hard though. It took a bit of catching. I think Hanif might have actually hurt his finger. The Rachel Hayhoe flint over. Sunshine breaks out. A really big crowd starting to assemble with the two marquees to our right-hand side for this, the first semi-final. High-quality cricket. The favourites for the tournament under big pressure. And it's Latif this time who cracks this away well over the sweeper towards those spectators.
They're pretty happy in the camp. Another good over. They're going to post a good score here, and they're under the pump.
Well, they're well above par, one would say already, surely. O'Dowd this time might have got a wicket, has got a wicket. Just what V.O.C. needed. Dirk van Baaren with the catch. Good rope management. He knew he was a yard or so in from the fence. Calm and collected. And just as he was getting going, the Catalunya Tigers have lost another wicket. He's the man with 22 on his back, Saqib Latif, who after a couple of lusty blows has to go, but he's done his job in getting the Spaniards to what is already an above par score.
Yeah, little cameo. Again, trying to hit it down the ground. Didn't quite get a hold of it. Hit high in the splice of the bat.
That's the man who took the catch, Dirk van
Come on,
Baaren,
we go.
who earlier was mentioned as the example when Corey Rutgers was talking about retiring batsmen. Promised that it was nothing personal. First ball for Nisar Ahmed, and it brings yet more fun for the Catalunya Tigers. A boundary to get him going. An enterprising 2 overs from Max O'Dowd that's had a bit of everything, a couple of wickets and a bit of treatment. 2 for 25 from his two. Nisar Ahmed off and running. Cheeky slog sweep. It is a go-to against the leg spinner because, as Shane Warne would know, you've got to turn it a long way to stop that.
Yeah, it's another good over. 9 overs down, 120 on the board for It's going to be a good semi-final.
And of all the teams who've got the firepower, even on a difficult pitch, to chase a target like this, V.O.C. Rotterdam have. The likes of Max O'Dowd, Peter Saylor, Jelta Schoenheim, Piers Fletcher. No runs being added to the total for now, though. Rapsaman finds a single. The spectators are watching in the two marquees away to us, which are pretty much entirely full. Plenty of others milling around.
Saad,
yeah,
Saeed's the one who has the responsibility.
Had that odd first over. And he gets the treatment here into the gap.
Well, I have noticed he's only coming off a half run because he was run up was all over the shop in his first over. What, 3 no balls?
It does remind you a bit of maybe having a little attack of the yips, as they call it. Into Zaman. Zaman then can't really find the gap. Ashikullah Saeed having a bizarre first over that seemed to go on forever. 1 for 9 off it, but 3 full tosses that weren't capitalised on, 2 wickets off 3 hits, and then eventually did get an authentic wicket. Ahmed down the ground.
He's bowled 4 brilliant deliveries here. Only 3 off it so far. 2 balls going to go. He'll be hoping, the V.O.C. lads will be hoping, can he go without a boundary? No.
Nope, you bet he can't. Lights out from Nisar Ahmed, who is making quite an impression. Bang, bang. Straight out to the wicket, no time to waste, and he's certainly not wasting it. Ashikullah Saeed is not having the best of days. Can he find a response with the last ball of the innings? He certainly can. They don't even contemplate a cheeky bye. Scott Edwards up to the stumps. Swish of the bat in frustration, but that's a reasonable knock at the back end. Nisar Ahmed with 11 off 5. He's capable of hitting a long ball. The granddad of the ECL, I dubbed him. 48 years old, the oldest player in the comp, a one-time Spanish international. Father of number 25 for Catalunya, Hamza Nisar Ahmed, the under-19 Spanish international. No spectators enjoying what they've just seen. Ashikullah Saeed maybe a bit frustrated. That first over he bowled was 10 balls long, but he managed to get out of it without his figures being too bad compared to some of the carnage we've seen here at the Rachel Hayhoe Flint Oval this week. But the Catalan boys, just look at them in that tent. They're pretty pumped up, happy with what they've got. We do feel like scoring conditions are a little bit trickier for batting teams today, and now the favourites of the competition to get into the final have got a big run chase in their hands.
Yeah, absolutely. I think when Catalunya won the toss and decided to bat first, that in their hopes, they would be thinking, you just post 125, 130, they're in with a shot, and they did exactly that on the back of Yasir Ali, 45 off 15 deliveries. Came out with absolutely all guns blazing. Mohammed Khan was a good ally as well. And then lower in the order, Ralph Zaman, 26 off his 15 deliveries. Got them to a total that they'll be pretty confident that they can defend.
Don't forget Nisar Ahmed and Saqib Latifi between them hit 24 off just 10 as well, so not mucking about. Jelta Schoenheim and Max O'Dowd picked up a couple of wickets each, which means it will be 130 to win for the V.O.C. Rotterdam boys when they come out to chase in this, the first semi-final. Looking at the bowling figures, you can see Saylor and Hanif both got a lot of taps, so didn't come back. Down with 2 for 25 from his 2. Ashikullah Saeed had a bit of a mare in terms of losing his run-up and all sorts, but did well. Credit to him for battling through to get out with 1 for 18 from 2. Ramesh Upadhyay getting a bit of tap. So we can see what happened in that first innings. Have a look back at the highlights shortly from what was an utterly engrossing 10 overs of cricket, swinging this way and that.
Well, there were some really good cricket shots to start, and I say cricket shots, they weren't just dirty hacks.
Partnership for the 2 openers of Yasir Ali and Mohammed Khan of 60 in just 3.5 overs until Jelta Schoenheim struck. Overthrows from Max O'Dowd, a misfield from Max O'Dowd. 6s going all over the place. Peter Saylor got the treatment. The Dutch international captain who once upon a time had dismissed the likes of Peterson and Tendulkar, has nearly 100 international wickets to his name. It's all
well,
going wrong, wasn't it?
They all were getting it. That was a big wicket there. Yelta came on nice and full, and that was the big wicket. And then he followed up with a wicket next ball. Scotty Edwards doing a good piece of work to make sure he caught the high ball.
And he knew, of course, in this win that would have been a difficult catch for Upadhyaya, so that was intelligent wicket keeping. He's got the benefit of the gloves. Those who like their baseball, you always prefer the man with the mitts.
We saw a lot of full tosses, either getting hit over the rope or to a fielder. What wasn't their greatest bowling performance, I wouldn't have thought, V.O.C. Lots of wides and no balls, which is a cardinal sin. Max O'Dowd again continues, has a happy knack of picking up wickets, but in the meantime he also was hit for a couple of absolute massive sixes.
3 no balls and 4 wide, so it's not quite as bad as that Drua game first up where they had 14, but it's still a few more than they might have wanted. Max O'Dowd getting a bit of tap, but also picking up 2 wickets at the same time. 2 sixes hit off him before the holding out hero, Saqib Latif.
And again, as you can see, that every batsman who came in, they weren't messing around. And that was a massive hit on the last over.
The word that comes to my mind from Catalunya there that I liked was intent. Come out,
no
bat
fear.
first.
Yep.
We've got nothing to lose. We're against the tournament favourites. We're going to have a go and see what happens. And every single batsman had real intent in the way they batted. They didn't waste balls. They didn't waste time. And that's what it means. An above-par score. And when we come back, V.O.C. Rotterdam will need 130 to win. If you've got any thoughts on what we've seen in that first innings, do get in touch with myself or Ryan Campbell, at Cambo_19 and at This Is McCann. This is MCCANN. We will return very shortly for the first semi-final run chase. V.O.C. Rotterdam need 130 to win against the Catalunya Tigers. Don't go away, because I feel like you might regret doing so.
Yeah, and some like sandwiches, burger and chips, something like Italian team been kicked out? Because I thought the semi-final would be the Italian team, but then I've heard they had an ineligible player. Is that right or not? Catalunya and Holland, Rotterdam, and then I thought it was the Danish team and the Italian team.
Oh, okay, yes. Yes.
The Blues, the Lady Blue and the Light Blue. So when they just did the toss for the next semi, it was the Danish team and the German. Yeah, so the Italians got disqualified. You know the guy who was smashing it the other day for the Italians? He wasn't eligible. I don't know, I think they've work permit or something. So they've been disqualified. It must be the Germans now in the semi.
Welcome back to the Manga Club Resort at the Rachel Hayhoe Flint Oval. And we are in the first of the games that we've been truly building up to across these 17 T10 matches here in Spain. It is the first semi-final, and we are incredibly excited to be bringing you the run chase. Catalunya from Spain, an unlikely team to get it. They only won one of their 3 pool matches, but Brescia's points forfeit got them into second place, playing the favourites of the tournament, V.O.C. Rotterdam, who have got quite a strong roster in front of us. They've put on a very good score on the board, and now it's these guys who need 130 to win. I'm Michael McCann, and alongside me, to my misfortune or fortune, is the one-time Australia international and now Netherlands head coach who will know these boys better than anyone, Ryan Campbell. Ryan, just take us through the guys to watch with the bat.
Yeah, come on, mate. We've been here together 3 days. Let's not make this relationship rocky. There's a lot of love in between this. Don't start saying that you've had enough of me already. But there we are, V.O.C. Rotterdam. Again, they're going to be reliant on Max O'Dowd, Peter Saylor and Scott Edwards at the top of the order with the bat, who are the Dutch internationals. But as we saw yesterday, Piers Fletcher can hit long rocks. Corey Rutgers can be quite clever with his batting later in the innings. So they have got the firepower to chase this score. But again, it's a semi-final. The run rate's going to be at 13s from the outset. There's a lot of things to play for.
Catalunya Cricket Club, we know all about them with the bat, the top order of Khan and Ali and Magal, who came off to some extent, particularly Ali. But what about the ball? Nadeem Hussain is a particular man to keep an eye on, the baby of this ECL, still very much a teenager, inspired by Shahid Afridi, the googly master. Maybe his wizardry can help unlock this difficult V.O.C. Rotterdam batting lineup, get a few of them back into the sheds. We've also got Ali Azam, the aggressive king of swing, who's been crucial for them so far. And in between, plenty of other options throughout that lineup. Most of these teams, of course, packed full of all-rounders. The sun is shining now. We've still got a fair bit of wind to keep us on our toes up on the scaffolding, but it is gloriously sunny, and we simply cannot wait for this. 130 to win, which we reckon with a tacky pitch today and a bit of wind around is very much above par. I know you might be biased by it, Ryan, but what's your prediction?
I think it's going to be a very exciting run chase. I think by winning the toss and batting first, Catalunya were hoping that they can make and post a good score. And as soon as you do post a good score, suddenly your bowlers become a lot better.
So I just mentioned the pitch. Let's have another look up at it at the start of today. It's a different surface to what we've been using for the first couple of days. And if we see down the middle, very tacky and lots of balls either getting trampoline bounce or skidding along.
Well, when you say skidding along, if you can see there, having a close look, the bare patches that you can see without the coverage of grass, when the ball hits that, it kind of skids off the hard clay surface, when otherwise when it hits the grass section of it, we have seen a little bit more bounce. So using the new ball is important in these first couple of overs to extract anything out of the wicket. And I'm sure these lads, they're excited. I think they're themselves in with a real chance, and it wouldn't surprise me if they get an early wicket. They'll be going absolutely Burko.
And the other thing is, we have to remember the psychological aspect of this. V.O.C. Rotterdam, the heavy favourites for this whole tournament. And now it's different to a pool game. It's different to even that Svanholm match last night, because V.O.C. Rotterdam know that if they lose that game to Svanholm, they're still in the semi-finals.
It's the beauty of finals, isn't it?
There is a final on the line. And what's more, there is a phrase, and I can't use the first part of it because it's actually a swear word. It's a 4-word swear word, and I won't say what letter it begins with. But a friend of mine refers to it as something it point. And what he means is that when you get to a point where things are maybe going wrong or you're the underdogs, you look around and you say, well, what have we got to lose? Let's just go and express ourselves and play freely. And that's what we saw from Catalunya with the bat. And if they can take that spirit in with the fielding and the bowling, then Max O'Dowd, as he steps out at the striker's end, and Scott Edwards at the non-striker's end, have got quite a journey in for them to chase this target.
Well, that's the, look, the key batsman for the V.O.C. is no doubt Max O'Dowd. He's the big wicket that Catalunya will be hoping for. Lots of pressure, lots to play for. The joys of semi-finals and finals cricket.
Semi-final 1, the run chase, just about to get going. Asim Javid from the Las Lomas end, the Dutch international Max O'Dowd. Wherever you're watching us, whatever continent you're on ECN.cricket or on TV in more than 100 countries, it's brilliant to have you here. And whilst we try and not get blown off the scaffolding by the extensive wind, we're excited to bring you this. The countdown is on, the spectators are packed away in the marquees to our right-hand side, the left of where the bowling is coming from in this over. O'Dowd to face, power play. 5-4 field. Yeah! O'Dowd intent to get off the mark. Direct hit might have been interesting. And it was Nadeem Hussain who are highlighted for his bowling, having a shy, a coconut shy.
Left arm round the wicket, trying to cramp up the batsman with just the 3 fielders on the leg side, a heavily packed offside inner circle.
Javid continues. That's the first wide of the reply. The margins for error are very small.
Well, I'm going to put him under the pump, the creature, but he actually hasn't batted as well as he would have liked in this tournament. He missed out there too, down the leg side. He would have been hoping to hit that for 6. Needs a big performance from him.
Lead in once more. Scott Edwards yet to face a legitimate delivery. Does get that one away towards his leg side arc and gets his first boundary. Yasir Ali can't cut it off. And Scott Edwards is in the runs.
And he's away. He became a little bit one-dimensional, I felt, in this tournament, where he's trying to always work it to the onside. He's got so many shots up his sleeve. Clear mind. Needs to play each ball on its merits.
Edwards facing again.
Wow.
Edwards showing why he's the sweepologist. Oh my goodness gracious me, he's got hold of that. Using all the pace from Asim Javid, helping it's on its way, just like putting a letter in the post. Off you go. See you later. 6 runs. It's 50-metre boundaries, but I'm not even sure 80 or 75-metre boundaries would have stopped that one.
You're going to have to pay air freight for that.
Javid into Edwards. Edwards tries to go again, and that's cricket for you. One ball, you look like a hero. The next ball, you're stepping across to off stump trying to help it, and you look like a bit of a chump.
Again, he'll be disappointed because that's the sort of length that he's hoping for. This strong breeze that he's going to be hitting with. He's pretty much saying that from the angle of the left armour coming around the wicket, that he's just thinking one way, and again, that's going to change the field. Mid-off is going to come up inside the circle. Fine leg is going to drop back. Not sure fine leg that is going to be far enough. I think he's going to need to be 20 metres further back.
What can Edwards do again? Edwards goes again with the wind. This is devastating. Statement of intent from Scott Edwards. 2 big swept 6s in the same over, and Asim Javid is really under the pump now.
Like I said, he's only looking one way, and the lefty might have to rethink his theory, thinking he should be coming over the wicket.
Well, of course, left arm around, it's naturally moving in towards that leg side arc of Edwards, who goes once more on the sweep, and they still haven't covered that shot, and he gets 4. Devastating start to the run chase from Scott Edwards, who's fired in patches with the bat, but he's shown his very best there. The man who loves a sweep, a switch hit, and a sledge when he's behind the stumps, delivering. But one does have to slightly question Catalunya approach. We've had 3 matches now. If they'd have seen him bat, they would have even heard us talking about him as the sweepologist. Well, and yet we had just 1 man out on the sweep. They were bowling left arm around, coming into the pads.
Well, it's having 3 on the leg side when the breeze is so strong. Mate, I'm not sure Glenn McGrath could bowl with 3 on the leg side in these sort of conditions, and they paid a pretty hefty price. Scott Edwards, 20 of 5 deliveries. Max O'Dowd has just faced the 1 ball. It's a rollicking start here from V.O.C.
22 without loss from the first over.
Ali Azam is going to come.
Ali Azam, the aggressive bowler, known as the king of swing. It's a 5-4 field, both sweepers out on the leg side. 22 off that first over. It's as big an over as Catalunya had in their entire innings. Gal gets enough of this, fielded by a man who had a good day with the bat, Yasser Ali, 45 off 15 for him.
Well, it's an interesting one where Scott Edwards can be predominantly to the leg side. Other side of the coin, Max O'Dowd is very much an offside player. So having the two guys deep on the leg side may not be the right ploy for Max O'Dowd.
Could be a bit of follow the ball captaincy as this time Scott Edwards gets hold of it, and it's again in that familiar area behind square on the leg side, and the Catalunya Tigers still haven't really figured this out. He is loving life, 26 off 6 for him.
Well, I did put him under the pump when he took guard, that he had been a little disappointing. And the creature is starting to lurk, and lurk with intent.
Here's the king of swing. Get Catalunya. Quick single, shy stumps from Mohamed Magal. Just before we delve too far into sort of team in-jokes within the Dutch national team in setup, because of course you're the head coach and he's your player. The creature is sort of the nickname he's less happy with, a sort of Skeletor style thing, but the more conventional one is the sweepologist, referring to what we've seen. Scott Edwards at the non-strikers. Max O'Dowd facing another Dutch international and showing why he is there. Baseball style, down the ground, out to the deep for second base if we were at the ball game, but 4 runs in the game of cricket.
Well, that's what I'm talking about. Max O'Dowd will be looking to go on the offside, to go with this hit with the wind, and he's very much a dominant offside player.
O'Dowd facing. O'Dowd going straight again. That's his go-to one bounce 4. This is one heck of a start. Remember that the Catalunya Tigers were 52 without loss after their 3-over power play. Anything you can do, I can do better, as the old song goes. Anything you can sing, I can sing better, anything, etc. Well, they might well be more than 52 without loss after 3.
Well, it's going to bring the wicketkeeper up to the stumps to try and keep him into his crease. But again, you've got to look at it. You've got to think quicker on your feet. He's an offside player. Bring square leg in or bring mid on in. Drop mid off back or a cover. Give yourself an out clause on the offside.
O'Dowd trapped in his crease now. Still chooses to come down though, and does so effectively. Out towards the V.O.C. team tent for 4 more. And the applause from their dugout, and why not? What a first 2 overs. 42 without loss from 2. Max O'Dowd taking his lead from Scott Edwards, not bothered by the keeper standing up, backing himself to hit it, and he did exactly that.
Well, beware the sleeping tiger, as they say. They've been challenged, and so far it's starting to roar to life. The pre-tournament favourites, they got 1 more over of this power play that I've no doubt that Scott Edwards will be wanting a very, very big piece of.
So, as Mohamed Angan Khan gets ready to bowl, and the wind really does whip up in our commentary box, just quickly to fill you in, we've got a 6-3 field now, which we haven't seen too often this week.
Hey, get one over. Stop. I want to run out there and tackle someone. And move one over.
And in the power play, you can only have 2 fielders out on the boundary. At the moment, they've got a deep mid-wicket and a deep backward square leg, but all of this fine leg area that Scott Edwards enjoys is left open. It's down the leg side, and it's almost a surprise that wasn't deposited by Edwards. It was right where he'd want it, but he missed out.
Is that not a wide?
I think he's somehow got away with that. Maybe it flicked off the glove, flicked off the pad.
He's got away with a ball there, that's for sure, because that is bowling right to Edwards' favourite position. He has got a glove on that. Very good call by the umpy.
It always looks easier from the commentary box. Back of the hand, slow ball, and it's over fine leg anyway. It wouldn't have mattered if they'd have had a fielder there. Scott Edwards is loving these 50-metre boundaries. He's loving the Catalunya field setting, and he's enjoying their bowling a fair bit too.
Well, sorry, but it's not rocket science. You've got a howling gale going one side of the ground, and you've got pretty much every fielder on the opposite side. Bring one across, please.
Ryan Campbell, who will be slightly in his heart of hearts favouring V.O.C, of course, being something of a Dutchman within himself, but
Married a Dutchie, I guess I'm kind of Dutch. My kids are Dutch.
Obviously, from an objective viewpoint, it's quite unbelievable what we're watching here. As Edwards goes again, Edwards sweeps again. Well, cripes. You're going to be seeing a compilation video of these sweeps. The sweepologist is at work.
Okay, so let's take a breath and let's go. If I'm his coach right now and I need to go have a look at him or his captain, okay, mate, I'm going to tap you by the arm and say, okay, here we go. The wide line, outside off stump, is where we want you to bowl. We're going to try and keep away. If he's going to hit you to the leg side, make him hit it from as wide from outside off stump as he can. They put deep point back to give him a bailout area, but do not bowl at the stumps.
What can Edwards do again? Edwards goes again. He's seeing it like a beach ball now. The ball boys are oh so busy as Scott Edwards goes again. It is his 6-6 of the innings. All of them swept, all of them behind square, all of them on the leg side. Well, there's only so many times you can keep saying the same thing, but it's marvellous cricket from him. One more and he'll have a 12-ball 50.
And he's going again. He's not changing his tactics. In fact, he's creeping a little bit even further across his stumps.
Mohammed comes to Edwards, who sweeps this. It's half stopped. I'm not sure if it's 4 or 6. We're waiting on confirmation. The man down here, Hamza Nisar, who has the unfortunate task of being on the fine leg boundary when Scott Edwards is in this kind of form.
Well, the bowler's thinking he's a chance because if he misses it, he's going to get an LB or a bowl. But I'm telling you, he just doesn't miss this sort of stuff.
Just to confirm the footnote, it is 4. So Scott Edwards has 49 of 12 balls. Definitely getting a fine for strike rate being a bit slow, eh?
I'm telling you, he's going the same place unless he doesn't bowl out. Got to bowl outside off stump.
Straight, full toss, gone. 55 off 13 for Scott Edwards, a 13-ball history. 13-ball 50, I should say. And it must be one of the first 50s we've ever seen where nigh on every single run has come in one tiny corner of the ground, behind square on the leg side. And whilst the Catalunya tactics might have been questionable, you've got to take your hat off to that man there on the biggest of stages, semi-final run chase, and he has delivered. Max O'Dowd has been sat at the other end thinking, leaning on his bat, saying, I'm going to leave it to you, Sunshine, and I think that's a good call.
It's super batting. Like I say, nothing, you can't take it away from him. That's what his job actually for the national team is, to finish innings, and he's very clever. He either goes to sweep or reverse sweep, but I'm sorry, the bowling, the line, the tactics wasn't quite right.
Scott Edwards, man with quite an international history, and we love that here at the ECL cricket, the global game. Born in Tonga, with a Dutch and Aussie passport, grew up in Straya, as they call it. First played in Holland in 2015 with Excelsior, and then joined V.O.C last year. So we've got Syed Shirazi from the Circassian side. That's a good start.
Well, and just to add to that Scott Edwards story, he was selected for the Netherlands the first time for our vital World Cricket League final matches against Namibia in Dubai due to the injury of Tobias V.O.C. And he's grabbed his opportunity with both hands.
Syed Shirazi trying to get Catalunya back into it, but he gets the treatment from O'Dowd. From first look, it was just the wrong side of the rope from the Catalunya viewpoint. In fact, given as a 4 by the umpire. Max O'Dowd wanting a piece of the action. He's been watching Scott Edwards have all the fun. V.O.C are cruising this. What's Shirazi got on the reply? Bang! Another one. Well, if you didn't know these two batsmen's arcs, having not watched them before, then from the first 3.5 overs of our telecast, you should have worked it out by now. Max O'Dowd straight in the V. baseball or golf might be a sport for him if cricket doesn't work out. Scott Edwards all behind fine leg on the, all behind square leg on the leg side.
Well, it's something that we work very hard on with our players in Holland, especially in the T20 form of the game, is to be able to get a length ball and face ball it pretty much straight at the side screen. It's something that we spend hours and hours practicing and trying to perfect. And Max O'Dowd, we saw it from Peter Saylor yesterday as well. They're getting there.
Scott Edwards on fire, facing Shirazi, goes for the reverse. You can't blame him for trying it.
That's his fave. To be honest, the switch hit is one of his faves, and he's going to do it again as well.
When he's on 55 or 13 balls, he can do what he wants, quite frankly. He could probably walk on water if he tried now, Scott Edwards.
Don't tell him that.
Well, it's all right, you can't hear us.
Oh, he will. He'll be watching this over and over again when he gets off the ground.
For those unfamiliar with the reference, maybe just joining us, Ryan Campbell, the current Netherlands head coach. Nazi to Edwards, who gets hold of it this time, but perishes on it. And finally, the Catalunya Tigers have a breakthrough. It could well be too little too late, but they've at least got rid of the man who will haunt them in their nightmares when they remember the ECL. Scott Edwards gone for 55 or 15. In his pre-tournament profile, he said that his best ever knock was a league game last year where he got a must-win 17 not out to chase down 220, and they won it 9 down with just a couple of balls to spare. I wonder whether that knock might be up there when he thinks back. A semi-final under pressure, big run chase. He goes and gets an extraordinary 50.
Well, it was. The dismissal was, well, his beloved switch hit, which he hasn't really done too well. I think it's led to 2 dismissals on this trip. But in the meantime, the previous balls that he faced were absolutely fantastic batting.
We've got to just drink this in, folks. Scott Edwards, 55 runs off 14 balls at a strike rate of just a touch below 4 runs a ball, 3 4s and 7 6s. 54 of his 55 runs in boundaries, and I don't need a wagon wheel in front of me to tell me that every single boundary was behind square on the leg side.
Oh, well.
Wow.
At least these dismissals, I've got something up my sleeve when I see him next.
Now, here's a man who could change the game for the Catalunya Tigers, bowling to Max O'Dowd.
Bring him on, the young leggy.
Nadeem Hussain, teenage leg spinner, Nicolas Lomasen. 6-3 good start as well. This is a guy who... Oh, and they have taken one. Get through eventually. There was a bit of uncertainty for a second. Nadeem Hussain, man who made his mark, got a Michelle as a 15-year-old in second game for Catalunya CC, having been put in the first team. It's quite an impression to make. Leaves it and takes the wide. Barcelona born, the baby of the ECL, the youngest player here, nicknamed the Googly Master, so that's one to keep an eye on. And by his own admission, likes a sledge.
I like it. Bit of spunk about him.
Well, it's funny you say that. Leg spinner, bowls a good googly, rips it, gives it good turn, likes a sledge. Sounds like almost a certain Shane Warne. 17 years old, as the graphic just showed you. That's Hussain gets a bit of treatment here, but he's bowling to the field. He's got the sweeper there. Shane Warne yesterday tweeting about his enthusiasm to get involved with ECL 2020. And I can't even explain to you the feeling and the buzz I gave everyone here at the Rachel Hayhoe Flint Oval. This time, down. Good start from Hussain.
It's good bowling. He's landed every spinner. He's bowled 1 wide, but again, that was because it ripped. There's some good spin out of this. It's very good from the young man.
Showing what he's capable of. What an opportunity bowling to fully fledged internationals. It's like Peter Saylor, who even 10 years ago was at Lord's when Dutch beat the English at the World T20.
Again.
Not best known with bat in hand on the international stage, more with ball in hand, Saylor. O'Dowd cuts hard. Will need a bit of stopping, bit of football skills. It is pre-season for the new football season. Maybe Asim Javid hoping that some clubs are watching. And Hussain completes a tidy enough first over. No
calm over. A calm over, we could say.
A calm over in this game. That just seems like a total juxtaposition, total opposites. Seems Javid with the football skills. But Nadeem Hussain, quite a character. Just to go back to Shane Warne, what was fantastic to see, there's dozens and dozens of volunteers on logistics, on transport, on setting this ground up, on everything in between, as well as everyone who's involved with this broadcast. The unsung heroes that make this work, including the scorers away to our right, who help provide the brilliant stats. And the buzz around the ground a few hours after that Shane Warne tweet was sent was just incredible to be a part of. Salar facing Shirazi.
Again, interesting field. 4 inside the circle on the offside, plus 2 sweepers, 6 on the offside.
And speaking of social, tweet from Baz Miller saying, does anyone else think that V.O.C. Scott Edwards looks like Andy Murray?
Not a bad call.
No. Salar doesn't really get it right. Somehow gets it in the gap though. Ali couldn't quite get there. Remember that you can interact with us on social. Adrian Pickles says, former Salisbury district cricketer in Adelaide, enjoying this O'Dowd and Edwards partnership. 10 PM our time, hashtag 6 more, hashtag fetch that. Well, that is a good summary of Scott Edwards' innings. He's perished now. Remember, you can get in touch at Cambo_19, through myself at This Is McCann, and any on-air appropriate tweets or questions will, of course, get a mention. O'Dowd misses out, and that's what we're referring to with this pitch. By the time we get to the final, it will have only got worse. Either hits those bland patches and goes down on through or bounces up. It was a cutter as well. Clever work from Shirazi.
Yeah, taking the pace off.
O'Dowd looking to go down the ground, but this is better from the Catalunya Tigers. Just pulling this back. The required run rate 9.33, so this game is not over yet. A couple of wickets in particular to open up and expose that middle order and put them under pressure. This could all get very interesting.
Well, we've said that a number of times. One good over here or there. That could be a wicket, no!
That's a big moment. Desperately needed a wicket, the Catalunya Tigers, and for my eyes, Hamza Nisar might have stepped on the rope. Might just have stepped on the rope. I'm not sure if we're going to have a second look at this. We've got the initial drop catch, but it might well be 4 after all. The third umpire sending it. Well, the third umpire having a look. Lars Anderson has rightly sent it upstairs. There might have been half a foot on the rope here from Hamza Nisar. Max O'Dowd getting a bit lucky. We were just saying that Catalunya needed a breakthrough. Got Edwards out, which was the key. They could have had the other set batsman.
Oh yeah, foot on the line.
Left foot from Hamza Nisar, unfortunately. Tumbling stop, trying to keep it in out on that boundary. In the meantime, do get your tweets coming into us on social. Really appreciate your company. Chris McAlinden says, Edwards of Rotterdam joins Big Pavel in the list of European cricket champs who need a big bash contract next season. Get them signed up to expand the game. Well, what is for sure is it does, and I think actually more of people like Nadeem Hussain, who are totally unknown. Scott Edwards is still sort of known well enough.
Yeah.
You know, he's a Dutch international, but it gives them a stage on which to shine. And on the note of someone like Nadeem Hussain, the leg spinner who's bowling at the non-strikers, as we still look at this decision, he was playing, for example, in the Spanish under-19 team in an ICC qualifying tournament recently in Essex. And I'm told from sources that a couple of county scouts from Essex and Middlesex had him in for trials, gave him some small things to work on. Shirazi gets the treatment from O'Dowd, making the most of the life he's just got from the drop catch. Thumped away, pardon me, Peter Salar. O'Dowd's at the non-strikers. Give him the credit he deserves, Source, because he's absolutely hammered that.
Yeah, a bit of width, free the arms, hitting with the wind.
Ticks along, they are well on top of the rate here, V.O.C. Rotterdam. Now, we have already witnessed a blast of sixes from Scott Edwards. So why don't we just have a look back at it? Edwards
It's an action replay of it, the action replay.
Edwards goes again. What can Edwards do again? Edwards goes again. Followed all captaincy is this time's 55 off just 14 balls for Scott Edwards. 3 4s and 7 6s. Straight, full toss, gone. Hussein starting his second over. Salar finds the gap. Should get a rare, authentic 2. In fact, he'll get 4. Misfield from Karam Shahzad. The pressure getting to the Catalunya Tigers.
Yeah, that was a sloppy piece of work. But again, it's interesting just to watch this young bowler. Very good action. What a prospect.
Yes, he's a player that I was probably as excited about seeing as anyone else. He's actually also a very good footballer. He's had trials with various Spanish second division clubs. Multi-talented individual. There goes Hussein, but he gets the treatment from O'Dowd. Picking up the baton, which Scott Edwards left behind.
Yeah, it's a good shot. Max O'Dowd starting to get the flow going. Been ruthless, these V.O.C. batsmen today.
Same to O'Dowd. And that's a full toss. The nerves getting to the young leggy. And O'Dowd isn't going to miss out from that. And the required run rate is now dipping below a run a ball.
Well, I'm going to go on a limb here. I reckon that's the first full toss I've seen this young man bowl all tournament.
I'd agree. Agreed fully. It's been very impressive, but bowling to a Dutch international, the pressure on in a semi-final, it tests him in a way that he won't have been tested even in the Spanish T20 to get here. 12 wickets at an average of 17 in that competition last year, at just over a run a ball. Cracked away by O'Dowd, that's right in his arc. He's enjoying life here at the ECL, Max O'Dowd. He got the first half century of the entire competition against Drew way back on Monday morning. And now here on Wednesday in the late afternoon breeze, he's enjoying the leg spin of Hussein. Can O'Dowd get to 50? To settle for 1. We are now down to the last knockings of this game. It was a run chase we probably thought was going to go the distance, but Scott Edwards and then Max O'Dowd have blown it away.
Yeah, they came out swinging, that's for sure. I think if we look back on it, tactics, as we said, even before the game, this strong breeze was always going to be a factor today, and it's whoever can come up with their tactics to go against the breeze and to make either full use of it with the bat or make use of it when you're bowling. And unfortunately, the tactics weren't quite so right.
One is a bit surprised by that as Mohamed Wigal gets ready to bowl from our end of the ground. The Las Acacias end, a 5-4 field, 3 out on the leg side. 2 out on the offside. O'Dowd gets them 1 closer to victory. Jim Congdon says, do you think the Big Bash should include an associate player in each squad? Hashtag grow the game. As Netherlands coach, I'm interested to get your thoughts on that. Salar gets it nice and cleanly through the covers. That was a hockey shot. The Virat Kohli cover drive. 45-degree bat angle, away for 4, 1 step closer to victory.
Yeah, it's a very good shot. Wide, through the arms at it. Look, it's an interesting one with the Big Bash. To be honest, of course, I'd love to see it, but you know what? I don't think it's the responsibility of the Big Bash to be giving places for associate members. I know they had an exchange program that the players were allowed to come from the associate country and be around the squad and train with them, which that's what I like, but
Max O'Dowd goes to 50 in style, slams it into the netting next to our commentary box to take V.O.C. Rotterdam into the final. It runs in the blood. His father was a pro, captain the Auckland and Northern Districts in New Zealand back in the 90s. But now at ECL 2019, it is Max O'Dowd taking on his family history, showing what he can do. Lovely stuff from the opener after Scott Edwards of Sweepolicus swept his merry way to a rapid 50. And what it all means is that V.O.C. Rotterdam have actually made mincemeat of what we thought could be a tricky chase.
Yes, some really good batting, like we said, the sleeping tiger, so to speak, then that was the V.O.C. batting. We hadn't really seen them fire on all 4 cylinders, and today we did, and the supporters are pretty happy.
And why wouldn't they be? They were probably a bit nervous at the halfway stage, and I bet they were even more nervous after 3 overs when the Catalunya Tigers were 52 without loss.
Hey, they were flying along, and you were thinking a score of 160, 170 could have been a chance, but it wasn't to be a big wicket of Yasser Ali. And then, again, we thought 130 was going to be okay, but again, we also knew that the strength of Catalunya was their batting. And again, that was shown out.
Scott Edwards, the hero today for V.O.C. Rotterdam. Let's have a look back at his extraordinary knock. Maybe the bowling and the field setting could be questioned in terms of knowing that this is his arc, but he has to take advantage, and that he did. 54 of his 55 in boundaries, all of them behind square on the leg side. 7 sixes, 3 fours to go with it. 55 or 14 balls, a strike rate that I make it 392.
Yeah, it was good going. Like I say, he's a good player, and obviously he's also the vice-captain of the Dutch national team. So he's got a good cricket brain, and he was very, very good today. He got them off to an absolute fly. Hadn't really batted that well the whole tournament, but now he looks in ominous form for the final.
And it almost reminds you of a version of that old Ashes phrase with Lillian Thompson, ashes to ashes, dust to dust. If Edwards don't get you, O'Dowd must, because once Edwards went, Max O'Dowd went, go on, I'll finish it off. I've been watching at the non-strikers, I'll get going. 54 off 21 for him, another half century to go with his one. He got at the start, 6 fours to go with, 3 big sixes as well. We can get an interview now with the man himself, Max O'Dowd.
All right, I have the man of the match with me, Max O'Dowd. What an innings. What a match as well.
Yeah, great match. I guess it was pretty spectacular, all the whacking around, and credit to them, they batted extremely well, you know, made the most of the power play in the beginning, but we pulled it back in the end, I thought, and yeah, I mean, you saw Scotty Edwards today just sweeping halfway up the villas and all that kind of stuff. It was an amazing game.
That's true. Do you know what he had for breakfast today?
Nothing, because he's a little stick creature, but normally, no, he's an unbelievable sweeper of the ball, and he's a guy who can use any pace, he can sweep anyone, and we saw that today. It was an unbelievable innings.
And talking about your innings as well, 53 of 20 balls. What were you thinking?
Not too much. To be honest, I was a bit shocked standing at the other end just watching Scotty whack it. But no, it was kind of just to do the same, to try and attack the short boundaries, hit with the wind, and really make the most of the conditions, I guess. And it paid out, and when Scotty got out, I guess I had to slow down a little bit and then take it deep, which was good in the end.
And what about your bowling? 2 really important wickets of Mughal and Latif, and Latif was just getting off, doing a little cameo, which came in actually quite handy in the end for them.
Yeah, it was all right. It was nice. I'm still working on it. I think I'm bowling too many half volleys, which are getting smacked all over the place. But yeah, it's always nice to pick up 2 wickets and to help the team.
Yeah, well, thank you very much. Looking forward to the finals.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Okay, I've got Peter Sealer next to me. Peter, you're a happy man, aren't you?
Of course. I mean, I thought that was, again, another great game. The Catalunya guys, I mean, they came out blazing, and I thought they played fantastically. And even with the ball, I mean, sticks, Scott Edwards playing like an angel coming from heaven and sweeping everything for big sixes, which is absolutely fantastic. But you also got to give credit their bowlers after that, especially the young leggy Hussein. Yeah. I thought he was fantastic. He was making life very difficult. And the left-arm bowler coming over, I thought they were very good.
Yeah, for sure they were really good. When you came into bat, a 130 target, I mean, it's doable for sure, but it's not something that you can get a lot of confidence in when you're walking in, no?
Well, to be
because
fair,
you wanted to restrict them to under 100, is what you said at the toss.
Yeah, that's that's the aim. Obviously, that's the first idea. To be fair, we didn't bowl as well again. Again, a lot of extras, which it happens. But I think we're the only team that has bowled this many. But 130 was a quite intimidating total because I don't think the wicket is as good as it was yesterday. A couple balls gripped, like I said, from the young leggy. Right. But coming in, it's just, you know, after Scott gave us such a start, then it's quite nice to walk in like that because you're quite comfortable. You're going to chase it.
Yeah, they definitely made it look really easy.
Very easy.
Okay, and now you're on to the finals.
Yep.
It's pretty good that you've just played a game. Gives you a very good idea of the conditions as well. Anything you'll keep in mind going into the finals?
Well, restrictor extras, that's one. Secondly, we just have to enjoy the occasion and go out there and express ourselves. And I think, as what Scotty did, that's what we all need to do. Relax, enjoy it, and try to be as best as you can.
All right, good lesson learned. Thank you very much. Enjoy the game.
So here at the Manga Club Resort, we've just seen V.O.C. Rotterdam comfortably win to make it through to the final. Here's what happened. Scott Edwards went ballistic. One has to question bowling at left arm around bowler when you've got a guy who loves the sweep, but he still has to take advantage. 55 off 14, 7 sixes and 3 fours. And I make it that every single run of that 55 came behind square on the leg side.
Max O'Dowd as well was a very good ally. And again, look, everyone has their tactics, and unfortunately when a wind is flying across the ground, only to have 3 men on that side of the ground probably ultimately was the price they paid. But you still got to hit them. And Scotty Edwards, he hit some balls that were going way, way back. They weren't just 6, they were probably 12. And it was a brutal display of batting. And there's his dismissal, the old switch hit, which he didn't quite get. But it was a brutal display, and one that we expected at some point we were going to see from V.O.C.
And then when Edwards went, O'Dowd took on the mantle. But just to give you an idea of what a quality player this guy is, you know, it was only last month in June that he was playing Zimbabwe and hitting multiple 50s in full internationals. So he is a quality cricketer to have at this tournament, which is the elite of club cricket across Europe. Max O'Dowd, who hit 105 against Ireland in his second ever first-class game, and has been working hard on his leg spin as well. 2 wickets, which is part of the reason why he picked up the man in the match award rather than Scott Edwards. That's what happened then. Catalunya Tigers posting 129 for 5, and in the end, V.O.C. romping home with 14 balls to spare.
Yeah, it was a good performance. Again, they were rollicking along with Yasser Ali at the start. But Yelta Scroonham, he got a couple of big wickets in the over, which really curtailed the Catalunya batting. Then they still went okay, and we thought, well, 129, 130 to win, and it's a semi-final, the occasion. There might be some nerves, but all those nerves were put to rest very, very quickly on the back of Scott Edwards and Max O'Dowd.
Now, we've talked a lot about how the European Cricket League can inspire a future generation. If you look on the right-hand side of that shot, and now our roving cameraman Yannick Bischoff doing a fine bit of work, we are inspiring the next generation right now. ECL founder Dan Weston is playing umpire. Once upon a time coached by your good self, Ryan Campbell, is a young wicket-keeper. Dan Weston at Germany International as a wicket-keeper batsman, and he's now having to do the fielding.
Yeah, that's not cool, having to do all the running around.
Well, you know, he's got a longer stride length than the kids, so it's probably only fair he should. And a dozen or so kids on the outfield having a game of cricket. That is something that just warms the cockles of your heart. Exactly what we want to see here at the ECL. A new generation of European cricketers being inspired by what they're seeing. And what they've seen in this first semi-final is V.O.C. Rotterdam ultimately romping home against the Catalunya Tigers, winning by 9 wickets with 14 balls to spare. Next up, we've got Svanholm against Findorf in not too long, so don't be going anywhere. And then we've got the final at 5:30 Central European time. But for now, Ryan Campbell's been alongside me. I've been Michael McCann. We'll have Phil and Vin with you very shortly for semi-final 2. It will be Svanholm from Denmark against Findorf from Germany.